Hello students, I hope you all are good. In the last audio, we studied about the Byzantine Empire, also the emergence of the Turks, how the Byzantine Empire was taken over by the Ottoman Turks. Then we also studied about the crusades that happened according to Pope Urban II on the urge of his request on his request. The Christians went on a holy war in order to recapture Jerusalem. And then we also studied what was the impact of these crusades and what happened, and there was a cultural learning also, and advancement also by these crusaders from the cities like Venice, Genoa, or basically the Europe. And we learned how they learned the use of gunpowder and other things like magnetic compass, etc. And there was trade also that developed with the help of silk, spices, carpets, etc. And basically it was the beginning of Renaissance in Europe. So now we are going to study from monasteries, and it is on page number 14, and we will end with this lesson today. So kindly pay attention, keep the book in front of you. Monasteries and their impact. As Christianity spread in Europe, many monasteries were built. You see monasteries there as a blue word. It is a new word as well. So monastery, in the next page we can see it says a building in which monks lived. So this word is not new to us. We've already studied about it when we were studying Jainism and Buddhism in the class 6th. So this is the place where the monks lived. Okay. So here Christian monasteries means the Christian monks who lived there. These became the residence of monks. Please underline this next line also. Like men, many women also devoted their lives to God and were called nuns. Please underline the next line. So, so far we studied about monks in 6th standard. Now we are also introduced to the concept of nuns. Now you all are studying in Little Flower Convent School. So convent, basically we know that sisters are there, we call them sisters. So our sisters are basically nuns, N-U-N-S. They lived in nunneries, also called convents. Please underline the next line, very important for you to also understand. They lived in nunneries, also called convents. So where monks lived, it was monasteries. Where nuns lived, it was either called a nunnery or the convent. So we have a convent in our school. That is why we say Little Flower Convent School. So our sisters, they live in the convent. Okay. The monks and the nuns led simple lives. Underline, did not marry, comma, did not hold any worldly possessions, offered prayers to God and served people. So basically they had given the lives to God's service. Okay. And what is it? They led simple lives. Number 2, they say they did not marry. The next is they say they did not hold any worldly possessions. So they say they did not believe that we should have a big car or a big building to live and fancy clothes. That is why you would have seen our sisters wearing the same dress. Okay, either it is white or it is a brown one, but they don't go about wearing how we in other way wear different kind of clothes. So they don't wear such dresses. Offered prayers to God. So main purpose is to offer prayers to God and served people. So their life was basically aimed on these things only. Each day was divided into special times for prayer. So even if you understand, and from our sisters' point of view, they also divide the time for daily prayers, study and work. So all of this is included in the life of a monk also and a nun also. Okay, so each day they at that time also they used to divide times for prayer, study and work, and till date this is also what is followed. Some famous Christian monks were Saint Francis, Saint Benedict and Saint Augustine. Please underline these names. Few famous Christian monks are Saint Francis, Saint Benedict and Saint Augustine. We also pray to Saint Chavra. So he is also a Christian, basically a Christian monk. Okay. They stressed purity, please underline, they stressed purity, resistance to material temptation, pursuit of goodness and self-sacrifice. So these were the virtues that they stressed on. Number one is purity, that we should be pure by heart. Second, resistance to material temptation, that they should not fall prey to temptation of these worldly things and luxuries. Third, pursuit of goodness, that they must also always step up to do good to others. And self-sacrifice, they sacrifice their luxuries and everything and do better for others. So these were the points that they stressed on. Next is, the monasteries played a very important role in medieval Europe. Underline, you can put down the heading there, importance of monasteries, because this is going to help you to understand why were the monasteries very important in the medieval Europe. Number one, monasteries were centers from which Christianity spread to other regions. So monasteries, basically the Christian monks used to stay there, pray and serve, and that is how they also served as a centers from which Christianity spread to other regions. Monks traveled far and wide to spread the message of Jesus Christ. Now, even when we studied Jainism, Buddhism, it was monks used to travel to different places and spread the message. Similarly, here also in this medieval period, monks traveled far and wide to spread the message of Jesus Christ. Gradually, many people accepted Christianity. Next is, second point, they say monasteries were centers of learning. Please underline. Monks studied Latin, which is a language, and hand copied books. They used to study the language and write down the books with their own handwriting. They were called manuscripts. Please underline. Basically, manuscripts, we know it is a written record. They then decorated these manuscripts with pictures and patterns. So, not just writing it, but decorating it also with pictures and patterns. Some of us also do that in history copy, very fond of doing that. I know you all are, either you decorate your English copy or any other subject which you like with the help of colors, etc. So, that is your interest of doing. At that time, the monks used to write these manuscripts with their hand and decorate it so that people who read it find interest in reading. Monasteries in the medieval period thus served as centers of religious as well as secular learning. So, not just teaching one thing there, but secular learning means maybe language was also taught. Like secular here means not religious. So, monasteries at that time was not just teaching Christianity, but languages also were taught. So, people used to learn languages from that place. So, it was not teaching anything religious there. Third, they say monasteries served people. They were guided by the motto, underline, service to society. So, monastery had this motto, service to society. The monks grew herbs in the monastery garden and used them to treat people who were sick. Please underline, this is very important, that the monks there used to plant the herbs, maybe medicinal herbs that helped people to be treated when they are sick. Their zeal to serve people by tending the sick and giving food and shelter to tired travelers was widely appreciated. This helped to spread Christianity further. Now, these monasteries were not just used for monks to reside, but the monks used to grow herbs also, and not just that, they were also attending to the sick as well, and they offered shelter to the tired travelers. And when this good service they were doing, the message just spread everywhere that these monks are very helpful and they wanted to know more about them, and gradually that is how Christianity got spread. Okay, so that with this we come to the end of this lesson, children. I want you to go give it a revision of whatever we studied so far, and new words, please stick it. It is very important. All the new words are very important. You can write down all the new words in your copy, in your fair copy, and try and solving the time to learn and one word answers in the book itself, and I will be sending you the correct answers along in the next class. So give it a reading. I'll just give you a quick recap. Come to page number 17. The lessons in a page. Let's just read that up. It's going to help us to do a quick recap of this chapter, spread of Christianity. So number 1, it says, after Jesus was crucified, his teachings were spread by his followers. We all know that. Some Roman emperors saw Christians as rebels. They tortured and killed many Christians. So turning into Christian was not well appreciated with some Roman emperors. In around 4th century, the Roman Emperor Constantine embraced Christianity, and this ended the persecution of the Christians. So Christians were tortured during that time, but when Constantine became the emperor, he stopped the persecution of Christians. Constantine shifted the capital of Roman Empire from Rome to Constantinople. He built many churches. In 391, Emperor Theodosius made Christianity the official religion of Roman Empire. So around 391, it was officially Roman Empire had become Christian. Many factors caused the decline of Roman Empire, chief among them being the invasion of Germanic tribes. So Roman Empire was basically under decline because of the Germanic tribes invasion. In 476, the Roman Empire ended. So Roman Empire basically ended with the Germanic tribes taking over. Then in 395, now 395 CE, the Roman Empire was split into Western and Eastern. It was split into two, the Western and Eastern. Constantinople became the capital of Eastern Roman Empire. Now after that, what happened? Under the able ruler of Justinian I, Eastern Roman Empire became the wealthiest empire, and it continued for around 1000 years. So around 1000 years it is sustained. In 1453, Constantinople fell to the Ottoman Turks. So after 1000 years. Now I'll read it again. In 395, the Roman Empire was split into Western and Eastern. Constantinople became the capital of Eastern Empire. Now Justinian I, he took over the Eastern Empire. He made that empire very wealthy, and it became one of the wealthiest and could sustain for 1000 more years. But after that, there was another invasion by the Ottoman Turks, and the Ottoman Turks took over the Constantinople. Between 1096 and 1291, 8 crusades. And then we studied about crusades. 8 crusades were fought by Christians on the urge of Pope there, and it was to recapture the Holy Land, which was taken by the Turks. But did any of these succeed? No, none of the crusades succeed. So all of them failed. Then we studied today about monasteries. They played a very important role in medieval Europe. They also spread the help of Christianity. And what was there basically? There was service was their motto. They were also centers of learning, and they carried out welfare work. So you have points of focus also. I'll just take you through this. From the left, it is the ancient Roman Empire split into two, Western and Eastern. Eastern Empire was called Byzantine. It was Constantinople was the capital. Empire flourished under Justinian I and declined steadily after 1453 once the Ottoman Turks took over. Then rise of feudalism was the main point of focus in medieval Europe. During that time, social classes, lords, vassals and serfs also emerged. Then we also know that monasteries played a crucial role in spreading Christianity during the medieval Europe period. And ancient Roman Empire declined because the main reason was chief barbarian invasions. And the last one, they say series of holy war, crusades were fought to recapture the Holy Land, which was taken over by the Turks. The crusaders failed in their mission, and crusades, however, exposed Europe to advances made by Turks and paved the way for Renaissance. So that is good for today, children. Give it a reading once again, and I'll be sending the answers in the next class. Thank you.